Smile with Daniel.
Listen, wonder, and learn.
Mom, at the gas station this morning, there were two different pumps. One said gasoline. One said diesel. Why do cars need different fuels? Isn't fuel just fuel?
Daniel, that's a great question. And the answer is, they're actually two very different liquids that work in two completely different ways inside the engine.
So it's like, you can't put diesel in our car because our engine doesn't know what to do with it?
Exactly right. Put diesel in a gasoline engine, and you'd have a very bad day.
How bad?
Tow truck bad. So, both fuels come from crude oil. That's the thick, dark liquid pumped out of the ground. But gasoline and diesel are made differently from it, separated at different temperatures during a refining process. Gasoline is lighter. It evaporates quickly. Diesel is heavier and oilier. It doesn't evaporate as easily and actually has more energy packed into it.
So diesel is basically the stronger version?
It has a little more energy packed into each drop. But here's where it gets interesting. The fuels work differently, not just because of what they are, but because of how the engines burn them.
What do you mean, Mom?
So, in a gasoline engine, air and fuel get mixed together first. Then that mixture gets squeezed by a piston. And then a spark plug fires and ignites it. Like lighting a match.
Okay. Mix, squeeze, spark. Got it.
Now, a diesel engine does something different. It only pulls in air first. No fuel yet. Then it squeezes that air, much harder than a gasoline engine would. And here's the key. When you squeeze air hard enough, it gets hot. Really hot.
So the air gets so hot that when the diesel gets sprayed in, it just catches fire by itself?
That is exactly what happens. No spark plug needed. The diesel ignites from the heat of the compressed air alone.
So a diesel engine doesn't have spark plugs?
No spark plugs. The squeeze replaces the spark. And that's one reason diesel engines have that deeper rumble from the much higher compression happening inside.
Oh, so that's why trucks all sound like that.
Exactly. Most heavy vehicles, trucks, buses, trains, ships, run on diesel because that higher compression makes more torque, more twisting power, which is what you need when you're pulling something heavy.
So gasoline is better for normal cars? And diesel is better for big things that need more power?
That's a good way to think about it. Gasoline engines tend to be lighter, faster to rev up, and easier to maintain. Diesel engines tend to be more fuel efficient, more powerful at low speeds, and they last longer, but they're heavier and more expensive to build.
So why don't all cars just use diesel if it has more energy and lasts longer?
Fair question. A few reasons. Diesel engines are more expensive to make. Diesel fuel can be harder to find in some places, and diesel engines tend to produce more of certain emissions that aren't great for air quality in cities, which is one reason many countries have been moving toward electric vehicles instead.
So diesel is great for big, heavy things, but not ideal for millions of cars, all driving around cities every day.
That's exactly the trade-off. And actually, here's something that might surprise you. Gasoline is actually pretty dangerous to handle. It catches fire very easily. Diesel is much harder to ignite under normal conditions. Even a small flame often isn't enough to light a puddle of diesel.
Wait, what? The fuel in our car catches fire easier than the big truck fuel?
Which is actually part of why gasoline engines need a spark plug to ignite it. The fuel is so ready to burn that a tiny spark is all it needs. Diesel needs that intense heat from the squeeze before it'll ignite at all.
So they're basically opposites. Gasoline ignites easily, needs a spark to control it. Diesel is hard to ignite, needs a massive squeeze to get it going. And that's why the engines are built so differently.
That is the clearest explanation I have ever heard of this. And I've been driving for a long time.
Maybe I should teach the driving lessons.
Let's get you a learner's permit first. So, Daniel, what's one thing you're taking with you today?
That gasoline and diesel both come from crude oil, but are made differently, and they work differently inside the engine, too. Gasoline mixes with air first and needs a spark plug to ignite. Diesel doesn't have spark plugs. The engine squeezes air so hard it gets hot enough to ignite the fuel by itself. The squeeze replaces the spark. And they're basically opposites. Gasoline ignites easily. Diesel needs a massive squeeze.
And now, you'll never forget it.
Next time I see those two pumps, I'm going to think about tiny sparks and giant squeezes.
That's all engineering really is.